So, quite a bit of people on the webinar tonight.
Yeah,
awesome.
Good. It's a good turnout.
Glad to see that we're in such demand.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Thanks for being here, guys. Y'all rock. Yeah, so we want to hear more about this this hip hop product you got going on, man. It's very exciting stuff.
Yeah, can we tell them about it? It's called Beatsaria.com. We'll cook you up some beats. We'll cook you up some beats at Beatsaria.com. Come get your beats. You want hip-hop beats? You want Dirty South beats?
Yeah,
hardcore beats, West Coast rolling beats. On the Beatsaria.com. Download the beats. Get as many beats as you want for the membership.
Oh, that's great, dude.
This dude's been working hard, man. He did all the previews, everything. So now I can put it up tonight, bro. We're in money. We're in the money. Because this guy needs money, man. He's like giving me problems. He's like, yo, you're my mentor, man. I'm going to have to move to Florida.
Shit.
So, I mean, I gotta make things happen tonight. I'm going to blow his mind, man. I'm plugging that in. Because I got a ClickBank account that's already up. It's called Curb Kid. That's the ID, Curb Kid.
Nice.
It was originally an account I used for that product I did with my 11-year-old son, trying to train people how to, you know, fix their 11-year-old kid. That shit was a flop. So I'm just using the ClickBank account for this Beatsaria, man. We're going sick with the Beatsaria.com. So we registered the domain name a couple of weeks ago, and then he's just been doing the beats. You know, like he's been gathering all of his beats. We've got a third guy who did beats. And we got me, I'm adding my beats, so we're just going to do, you know, 30%. Nice. So, I mean, they do all the work. You know, this kid did a ton of work, man. He did previews for like 30 different beats. He was up until 6 in the morning.
Nice.
And then some couple cats, you know, he also does PayPal transactions. He had this, yo, Graf, can I be talking about this? I'm telling them everything about everything. All right, tell him the story about the guy. All right, so anyway, there's this guy who's like, oh, I'll give you $800 for a beat and a hook. So Grav's like, all right, you know, cool, that's cool. So then the next day, he's like, yo, he emails as another person, like pretending to be another person, and says, hey, can you send me a picture of your setup? And so Grav, thinking it was a new customer, sent the picture of the setup. I guess this guy had sent a couple emails before, and Grav didn't answer for one reason or another, probably because he was working with me. You know, we were filming a video last night, right? So then, at this point, the kid's like, you can only reply if it has to do with money, you know, this and that. This is the same guy, and guess what? I'm not going to pay you your $800 and shit. And then he's basically like, you know, blah, 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 you're a this and a that, and then you're a beaner. And he called him a beaner. So at that point, and this brings in Grav. I'm going to tell them about me now. My thing is, this was the weirdest thing, guys. I don't know what's up, but we did that video like 2 weeks ago where we possessed Gravity. I was like this satanic record label guy.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy, dude.
And I think it cursed me. Everything went wrong. Last night it came to the pinnacle. It came to the pinnacle. At 5 in the morning, I will always refer to this as the great citrus disaster of my computer and keyboard of 2014, where an entire party cup filled with this like lime drink mix that Gravity put on the counter fell. You know, I knocked it over, and Gravity wasn't even. You know, he was downstairs, and I came up to get a prop or a hat or something to wear in the video. And I come up and I go up to the computer where I'm sitting right now, and I bumped it. And at the moment when I didn't want to have to clean something up, and it's still like my mouse is sticky. I had to order a new keyboard. It doesn't even work. So, and basically, long story short, this morning I felt like I was cursed by doing that video. And I think Gravity's really cursed, like the guy calling me a beaner. So, I called up my guy. Well, before I called up my guy, I prayed to God, and I said, I'm sorry for, pissing you off or whatnot. And I don't know if it's that I pissed off God or, I'm knocking on wood all over the place. Or maybe Satan's upset me that I was mocking him in a video. I didn't do him justice or something, or making fun of him a little bit. So I felt I was just cursed. So I prayed to God, and then all of these great things fucking started happening, like all day. So it was a great day. That's why I sound happy. Isn't that weird? But for a week, it was ever since we did that video, it was just like downhill, man. Like,
wow.
Just like nothing was going right. You know what I'm saying? Like, just everything from stuff like pouring the drink over to like my half of today was dedicated. Like, before I'd pray to God, I was about ready to throw this printer out the window. You know, my scanner printer. Like, I mean, it was just ridiculous. Like, and it didn't make any sense. I couldn't figure out the pattern. You know, it was like that type of thing. You know, I couldn't figure out the pattern. My iPhone wouldn't even import videos. I mean, it was like I spent 7 hours Saturday night trying to import the videos I did at the Hibachi restaurant in Brett. You know, so nothing was going right. I mean, that's, you know, a lot of the time, man, you gotta be careful about that type of stuff, man. There is like a third dimension, a fourth dimension, fifth dimension, whatever you call it. You know, that's my best word of advice. But hey, for the internet marketers on this webinar, just know that, you know, you could settle for, you know, your Craigslist postings every day, you know, 10 postings in 10 cities, or you could do your AdWords campaign every morning. You could do, you know, make a little extra money, as we all like to say, you know, a little extra money, or you could manifest and create a diversion of life and become a human lightning bolt and just stab into the madness and just keep like a monster, just, you know, build up, like as if you're a power lifter has to practice and has to build muscle. You have to build your intellectual entrepreneurial muscle and just powerhouse that shit and just, you know, bust through. You have to become a master of obsession and a master of, you know, I'm gonna come at you like hard work isn't the word. It's like, and that's where I come from, is that you are going to enjoy this. You're going to enjoy being able to just destroy everyone who tries to mess with you and tries to use you for their own advantage. And you're going to love the feeling of just being like untouchable. And like and unfortunately in this society, people do try to judge you by your bank account. They'll straight up ask you how much you pulling in every year. And they'll do that stupid, corny shit to you, and you're at the bar, and then it feels great to be able to just tell them, not straight up, no, you're not going to answer them right away. You're not going to say, oh, I make 1 million, 2 million right away. You're going to tell them a little story. You tell them a true story. And then they're shitting in their pants. Like they shouldn't have even stepped to you and tried to use you to show off in front of their girlfriend, taking you for a chump, and thinking that they'd have some type of little story or like show their girlfriend how fucking awesome they are or whatever. You know, they saw these two little, you know, skinny, you know, white kids at the bar or whatnot. And you know what? All right, how much y'all pull in every year? You know, that type of thing in front of their girlfriend. And again, I'll tell you again, straight up, I didn't tell him right away, but he's going to need the pens.
What do you mean, depends? Is that an adult diaper? Well, I'm a little sad the story got cut off. I was hooked. I was in, man. I was gonna buy now. Shit. Maybe you'll come back. I'm sad now. Shit.
All right, be quiet.
Hey, where'd you go, man? You left the story hanging, bruh.
Sorry, man. So what would you like to know, bro?
Well, I don't know. I was in, man. I was hooked. I was ready to buy now, and then he left.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm just sick of the, been like, I don't know, I've just been like making some graphics, bro.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about. Like, I've done, you know, it's just like, a lot of the time it's just like graphics, like, that's like the key. Like, that's like the one, because it's fun and it looks good too, like, when you do it. It's like you have that advantage. I like advantages.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, advantages are so important. Like, if you could just build up one advantage, Like, cause that's, you know, it's like the same thing if you were a musician, you know, like, oh, bring him in. He's freaking awesome at solos, you know? Like, oh, his guitar solos are pretty good. And you know, that dude worked real hard on guitar solos. And he practiced really hard. So it's kind of like that. Just like advantages, like being able to do something real well. You know, just at least if it's one thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's really powerful. But it's funny, man. It is kind of like there's a spiritual thing to it, and there's something else to it, man. There's like a confidence thing. Like in a conference call, like it's almost like I wouldn't say your tone of voice or some corny, vague advice like that, but I'd tell you it's your whole demeanor, like the whole mood that you're in really matters.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps to, like, before the conference call, like, think to yourself, like, you know, hey, I got, you know, you're thinking to yourself, you're like, well, what am I going to bring up? If there's any one thing I could get a word in, usually in conference calls, everyone's such a retard, such a competitive, you know, aggressive asshole that you can't ever get a word in. If you're the real guy and you're the good guy, you usually can't get a word in, because you're not going to have a chance against the fakes who have overcompensated with their, you know, their daddy's Yale, you know, budget for their Yale education and all that. You know, like they graduate, they have this overinflated sense of ego, and then that's a skill, man. You know, it's a skill being able to cover up, you know, being able to get everyone's, you know, mind, you know, just float right over the truth of who you are and that you ain't shit. You know, so that's a skill to be able to brainwash people, you know, into thinking that you're not, you know, this and that. And that's when you're the good guy, and when you're the one producing stuff and actually doing real good products or whatever, you know, whatever it is you're doing that's real and you're telling the truth, you're not gonna have a chance against them, because you're not skilled in that. You're not skilled. You can't be good at everything. You know, you can't be an amazing product maker and an amazing marketer at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you can with a little experience, you know, but I'm telling you, that's another great thing about it, though, is because 95% of your competition out there, they're those types of people. You know, you very rarely find someone who is like, you know, it all adds up. You know, ain't that right? Right? I was just telling Gravity about that last night.
Yeah, no way.
You want to make sure it all adds up, right? I'll share them that. I'll share with them that. Yeah. All right, you guys want to hear? I'm just totally honest with you right now. We were talking about the guru thing, and we were talking about how these gurus get in all this trouble. You know why they get in all this trouble? Is because they talk about they take people for chumps. Like, they think that people won't do research. So what they do is they think, oh, well, you know, I can say this, and, you know, they'll never connect the dots, right? All right, that's one model, but you know what the sickest model is? And what I found out from my little videos, and, you know, it's all posted, it's going diarrheaing all over the industry, is I found out that show them the dots. Like, let them connect the dots. Now I'm untouchable. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes you strong, is when it all adds up. You know, so make sure everything, you know, if someone asks you that, you know, how much do you make? You know, you go to dinner and someone says, how much do you make? You say, oh, you know, I make, you know, you want to be able to tell them, I do about, you know, 6 figures a month. You know, how much is that? You know, about 300 grand a month. They're like, holy shit, that's $3 million a year, right? You want to be able to tell them that. All right, we'll just assume that they're going to find proof on that. So when they then in that same setting, tell them where to go for the proof and everything. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes you so strong, like with whatever you do, you know, in business, you know. So when you're in the boardroom, don't only tell them stuff. Tell them their problem that's with them. Then in this next sentence say, this is with me. And then the third thing it doesn't just end with, you know, this is my story. But the third thing that you tell them is like, and this is what happened because of this. And it proves the whole thing. And it just follows. It's all, now it's the yin and, you know, yin and yang or whatnot. It's all full circle, and it all, connects. Their dots connects your dots, and you're in the money.
Andrea says, where do you suggest we start to spark the lightning bolt status? I have no idea what that
I was going to answer him.
All right.
Like, I was texting it, but then I thought I'd talk, and then I unmuted myself, and we were talking about, Matt was talking about the past webinars that you can get in the members area. You guys have got to be able to check. That's what you were mentioning, right, Matt? Because my speaker's really low.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, anyway, I was going to answer Andre about, question, where do you suggest we start to spark the lightning bolt status, right? Well, I was going to explain that today I took a call from this fellow who leaves like 3 messages on my cell phone. Like he leaves like a million messages. Like since like first time I ever started hearing from him was like July or something. Like he's been messaging me for like 6-7 months, and the messages are not happy messages. Like they're not like, hey Jamie, I'm in your class and thank you. It's like, Jamie, I'm real upset. I can't get in. I don't know what to do. You said you'd sign me up. And like, it's just that. There's no information about, any, like, I can't get in the webinar, the link didn't work. It's not like to that point. It's like, Jamie, I signed up and I want to make money, and I don't know if you care about me. And it's like that, like just real basic and real upset. Like, and he just leaves these messages like all the time. His name's Ned, right? And I'm like, I gotten to know this guy just from his messages. And like, I think like I send him a text back, I try to reply back, I leave him a message on his machine. I don't think I've ever talked to him, but I left a couple messages on his machine. I was like, listen, man, you need a refund. You need to come to a webinar. You need to do something. All right? It's like straight up like that. But he'll buy every product I put out and just keeps buying them. I'm like, yo, what's your deal? So today, I finally got him on the phone. And I was like, Ned, what's up, man? What is the deal with you calling my phone, dude? You need to either come to a webinar, you need to either log in the members area or get a refund. Stop playing these games. And he says to me, I'm 89 years old. I say, I know that. I've heard your messages for now like 9 months. I said, listen, dude, if you're a carpenter, you're going to scan your blueprints and sell them on eBay, okay? If you can't come into a webinar and you can't figure out how to get in the members area, then you're real basic. I'm not even going to try to show you how to build a website or do any of that stuff. Straight up. It's not hard to get. The promises I make in those sales videos are based on the fact that people are so blinded and they're so brainwashed and don't know the fact that you can just go on eBay and make all that money. So I'm like, listen, if you're a carpenter, I said, and then at this point, after I told him that, I was like, do you have a fax machine? Like, do you ever do a fax? I didn't even ask him if he had his own fax machine, but I was like, do you ever do any faxes or anything like that? And so he said, yeah, and I gave up on AT&T. They weren't, giving me a problem, this and that. And I said, all right, so where does this go on? And he's like, well, I own a fax machine. I have a fax machine. And I'm like, dude, and I told him a story about my printer. And I said, my printer, I was ready to throw it out the window. I'm terrible with hardware. Like, I'm good with, this internet marketing stuff, websites and Beats 365, but I'm not really good with this printer. And so I told him, I said, straight up, man, if you can use if you got your own fax machine and you do faxes, I know he's probably been doing that with his mortgage company or, whatever it is he's doing, right? And he's been probably doing it for a long time. He probably has more experience doing that than I have, right? I said, you can scan your blueprints through that fax machine most likely, and then put them on eBay and sell them for $10 for a whole collection of them. And that's all it is. And you got to treat that like that's your job. And if you had an employer, he'd be asking you to upload 10 blueprints a day, and then that's what you do in the morning. And then in the afternoon, you do a new AdWords account, and then and it's just like what you do for a living now. is just being an entrepreneur based on this fact. Like when we give you those, when we tell you that these certain chemicals get a certain reaction, you guys are supposed to remember the names of the chemicals and the names of the results you're supposed to be getting. You know, conversion, an opt-in, a hit, a click, open. You're supposed to remember those reactions you get from certain, you know, chemicals that you put together online. So if you got, like, you know, what is those 10 blueprints, if you're a carpenter, what is that called? That's called your product. It's like an ebook. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, to tell you the truth, like, this is the most powerful, that 10 minutes is, like, really all you freaking need to that's worth, like, $20,000. That's like what you get on a call with any of these gurus who charge that stuff one-on-one on a phone call. You know, they'd ask you, what do you do? And you'd say, I'm a carpenter. And they would tell you that. And if you were, you know, if you, and then, you know, you're going to have to start worrying about, you know, the first world or whatever you call it problems where you're worried about, you know, doing too much money, you know, making too much money or your bandwidth running out. You're worrying about those things all day, you know, like we do. That's the stuff that we worry about all day. We're on hold with AWeber for an hour, saying, why do we have double opt-in? What happened? And they're like, well, you're mailing too much, and you know, and you have to do double opt-in from now. And you want those types of problems. You don't want no, you know, problems like your wife, you know, like, you know, this thing bounced or speak of the devil. That is weird. You see how I'm saying?
I tried my very best.
That is crazy.
Here too. So.
When does that happen? When does that happen on a webinar before? That is some weird ass shit. She comes in here giving us trouble the minute I said that.
Excuse me.
That was weird, yo. So I'm shut up. But now you know that's worth $20,000 because that is some real shit. Woo! Oh, cool. Sounds like you're doing the type of stuff that I do all day. I don't do a lot of Craigslist ads for making money anymore, though. I don't have time. If I do that, it's probably hiring someone to do it. Something like that, you know? But yeah, I sometimes have to figure out, you know, other companies, you know, and GetResponse creates new features all the time, so then you have to learn new ones. And Michelle is researching niches. Fen says we're not newbie-ish enough. Well, Fen, this is a complimentary on top of the videos and instructionals and all of that. But it's meant really to assist and to give you a one-on-one experience. Like, hello, Fen, I'm Jamie, how are you? That type of thing. And, if you got something really good going with what you learned from us, then you want to hear about it. You know? But to get started, I guess you need to first of all understand what an ebook is, and you know, and what an affiliate commission is. You know, the basics. Learn the terms and exactly what they mean and how it all works. And once you have an understanding of it all, then you'll say to yourself, all right, I'm going to pick one of the different ways to do it. Probably you'll revolve somewhat around, you know, using Facebook or Google or one of these top 20 websites online to drive traffic at an affiliate offer or your own product. Or sometimes it might have to do with, you know, recruiting a bunch of affiliates to promote your offer. I do a bit of both. You know, I've always done a bit of both. And, you know, I'm an affiliate and, you know, heck, I'll do a product launch. You know, I'll run a product, not even a launch, but I'll start up a product little by little and then, you know, grow it. You know, like a little tree. You know, it's like little planting seeds, like little money trees on the internet. You know, that's what I'd call it. So of course, you know, we put one and one together. You know, you got to sign up for PayPal and ClickBank, and all right, now you got all those done. Now, you know, you could start, you know, whether you're an affiliate or a vendor, you could start scanning pictures of yourself and make sure you have pictures of yourself and You know, if you're getting into therapy online, like how to get your ex back or how to get a better sex life or something like that, you can start to gather information on this. You know, start to gather. Hopefully, you know, you already have information on this. You know, that'd be an easy way to do it. Say if you're a vocal coach, if you teach vocals, then create a product tonight or create a fan page tonight based on that and start taking either money through PayPal for services or teach online. You can do webinars and, you know, teach someone how to sing online for $50 an hour. Or you can do a class like I do. You know, we do a class instead of teaching piano to someone for, you know, $50 and you're doing, you know, that person is there for spends $50 and you know, not even recorded, you know, most likely. And $50 is gone. They got one lesson. So what about if you were to do a class like 100 people who paid you $50 and then you record it? You get a great value out of it. And, you know, it ends up being the same. Let's not tell a lie. The people who do those piano lessons charge $50. They're lazy communists, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, they're not going to make as much money. They're playing, and the customer's probably going to be angry at them because they're not the best pianist after spending $4,000, you know, over, you know, 6 months or something. And teacher had sleep apnea or something like that. And fall asleep in the middle of teaching you, and you know, so you know, it's a good idea. So the technology helps the customer get a lot more value, you know. And Sean Fanning, I guess his name is, from, you know, who did Napster, kind of showed us all back in 2000, 1999, 2000, exactly. The power of the internet, and, you know, the power of how much intellectual property you can get. And what happened was all the publishers, like, you know, Simon and Schuster, you know, I'm not going to mention a lot of names, but I'd say, you know, Barnes and Noble, and let's bring up another company who you know, shit their pants. Literally is Blockbuster. Video, if everyone remembers Blockbuster. They were devastated by Netflix, by their competitor. And it just has to do with the fact that you can get a heck of a lot more online. And that's why everyone's getting their ebooks. You know, everyone goes to Kindle to get their books instead of driving to Barnes and Noble and, you know, buying a hardback. You know, I mean, come on now. It's like, you know, if you go to Barnes & Noble, you can spend quite a bit of money. They're like $40 or something. So what we do is we kind of, you know, everyone goes on, and then they go on the net to find good deals. And so what we do is we say, oh, you're going to get 50 books for $20, and then you make like $4 million. You know what I'm saying? You drive Lambos and travel. Well, that's it. All right. I mean, if you guys don't understand that, you know, I mean, teach some piano lessons. You know, I don't know what to tell you. You know, this is like it's like a freaking gold mine. You know, like that's the truth. I mean, I'm still beside myself. It's like to this day, it's been like maybe almost 12 years or something that I've been doing this. And the way I do it, you know, just creating cool products like a record label. If you guys aren't familiar with what a record label does, they churn out records. We churn out not only records, but databases and some instructional products and some membership sites and some blogs, some channels, fan pages. We do it all, man. Multimedia. It's multimedia tasking. You guys got to become like chefs. Like you're working in a diner, and you got that little rotating metal thing that has all those slips on it, and every second you got to pull that one of them off and see what's the new order. And you got the waitresses ringing the bells, and you got to hook up a new fresh order. You know? You gotta serve orders all day. Now we're not do that. But the orders that you serve are supposed to be little juggernauts, like little, you know, if you ever seen the movie Short Circuit, I believe it's called, Isn't that the movie where those the elderly people have those little alien ships? And they're like floating around. Those alien ships are a good metaphor to what you build. You build these little money machines that fly around the internet, siphon cash. All right, so you excited? You guys understand FenFen? You understand how to do it now, right? What do you got to do? Basically, yeah, you got to sign up for ClickBank, get a product, and or you got to sign up for Facebook, and you got to find a real desperate niche. I hate to say it. You got to find something like they used to do these groups. They used to do these little groups. Back in the day for these real weird little niches, like little ailments that are kind of hard to find. Like sometimes there's like a couple ailments, like if you travel to South America and you go swimming, there's this little fish that swims up your urethra, and there's some name for that ailment. I forget what the word is, but that fish does a bit of damage in the testicles and in the bladder. And there's a few 100,000 people a year that suffer from this thing, and no one is publishing a blog on this at all. So if you can imagine, if you pinpoint one of those little weird little ailments and create some type of YouTube channel, you got a bunch of videos, you need to get all the traffic first of all, and then what happens aside from the traffic, and I mean this is just the most honest truth, and you can mathematically do the research on this and figure it out. There's no information on how you cure these types of things. So if you have a $10 or $20 ebook, I'm just saying, I mean, someone who has that problem is like, I can't find any research on this. The doctors won't. They tell me it's, you know that it's some hidden thing or some kind of type of conspiracy, and you haven't heard about this anywhere else. You can't find any information on it. And you come across FenFen's blog on how to cure this, and it says, hey, there's this one fruit. Sign up now and find out, what fruit to take to clear the, get the fishes out of the urethra and everything. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the idea. And then, of course, everyone, we're talking like the conversion rates typically are ridiculous. They're like, what I've seen is anywhere from like 1 out of 5 to 1 out of 10. If you know what that means, that's anywhere from 10% to 20%. Yeah, conversion rates with something like that. And that's because there's no competition. Now, an example of something I did, and it's all legitimate. I wouldn't recommend doing a scam blog where you don't know anything about it and stuff. I would, if you're going to do ailments, I would recommend you know a little bit about it, or you do your research into it, you give a really good product, you really worked hard at it, okay? But, it means basically I did the lose man boobs. And that was a niche like that, like where I saw huge conversion rates because there was no competition. People with that problem. It's called gynecomastia, and they go online, they'd be like, where I'm going to find out some information on how to get rid of my man boobs, and they get lose man boobs. My site. And you sign up for $30, that type of thing. I did it with a Chinese guy who grandfather did Chinese herbals. And he also did a hemorrhoid site. So he had a hemorrhoid site, and then he did the How to Lose Man Boobs website with me. Pretty successful until it got a little annoying. That customers were a little strange. There's a couple pharmaceutical companies that were angry at us because some of our ClickBank affiliates used their keywords in their ads, and it became a big old mess, and it was quite embarrassing. And my name was attached to this very strange niche, and that's when I started to not work with him anymore because it was a little embarrassing. And there's also a few. I had an interview where I had explained that he wanted to get into really weird niches that were, and he started to do them without telling me. Like niches that were really weird. And you watch some of those videos, that Lambo video, I talked about it a bit. Lambo. It's like internet marketing interview or whatever, and basically he wanted to do these donkey fetish movies, like a donkey fetish site. And I said, dude, why do we need to do this? I was doing fine with, my music websites, my dating stuff I did because, Kim broke my heart and everything. So, that was the best. Anything that you know about, man. If you got your heart's broken, write a book about it. Start publishing your thoughts. Think about it like you're on the deathbed and you have no arms and legs, and that's all you have to do. So, speaking to a iPhone, write some verbal notes. And sell your freaking notes, man. Your last words. Think of it like that. Like you only got 24 hours to live and do this shit. All right. So I hope that inspires you and also gives you some educational value and instruction, actual technical instruction on how to go about it. Of course, you're gonna want to maybe take up some HTML lessons or Photoshop. We're just listening to man Matt right here. He kicks my ass with Facebook, I'll tell you that. This guy, everybody give him a round of applause.
You're too kind. You're too kind, man.
Yeah. Talking about. So listen to Matt when he talks about Facebook and, use your own intuition. It's which niche is best. I'm going to use my advice on that. If you want to go into one of the big niches with all the huge, crazy amounts of traffic, Again, I'll tell you the niche that's real big is fitness. All right, of course, umbrella term, underneath fitness, you got six-pack abs, you got powerlifting, how to run fast, how to jump higher, basketball. It's a big umbrella term for a whole bunch of niches. And one of the biggest ones, of course, is weight loss through fitness. Okay, huge. Now, if you're gonna get into that, the one thing that you need, I believe, very strongly. And it's not that you're an expert marketer. It's not that you get lucky with the opportunity. But it's that you know fitness really well. You're a fitness instructor, or you can lift. You can weigh 180 pounds and you can lift 300 pounds, or I don't know, something. You're just freaking an amazing fitness instructor, or you're an amazing bodybuilder. Okay, that's what I believe strongly it takes for you to do a successful product like this. And you kind of have to be an egomaniac a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And with sales, remember, as I was telling you earlier, a lot of the time there are a bunch of fakers, and sometimes they get ahead. I mean, you can be a good pathological liar and do great things in business until you get everything crashes all around you. You get closed down from being an asshole. So I mean, remember, the best way to do it is to take this advice from real people and teach how to do the organic style of marketing. You know what I'm saying? Grassroots.
Yeah.
Be true to yourself and go into a niche that you're really a specialist in. If you're really good at internet marketing, you've been doing it 12 years and kick some ass, doing it with all sorts of different, really everything you touch turned to gold. Of course, you might want to write a book on marketing. It's really good at it. So you use what you know and capitalize off of that, and you have to say no a lot to people who are wanting to employ you and have you sign an exclusive contract. Anyone asks you to sign an exclusive contract, you have to treat that as an act of war. You have to retaliate immediately. Let them know that they're not welcome in the house or in the office, and treat them like an enemy. Right? Exclusive contracts are the devil's work. All right, well, thank you very much.
Man, epic shit, Jamie. Good stuff, man. Thanks for sharing, dude. Always get some fire out of you after you've been drinking, bro. I fucking love it. This is shit.